Hello book lovers, I hope you all are doing great. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a non-fiction book, and lately I've become very selective with reading non-fiction books. I usually like to consume the ones which I think that are going to bring some value to my life and are going to add more insights to my life. So I've become very selective, and the book that I'm going to talk about in today's video is also something that I finished recently, and I found it very insightful, very valuable because it talks about leadership. And I know that you might have read a lot of books on leadership, but this book, I found it different than others because it felt real, it felt honest, very raw, and not only talks about how to become like the best leader in the world, but it talks about like the micro qualities that a leader must have and other skills that they must possess in order to lead their team in a very effective way. The book which I'm talking about is Song of the Manager, a rhythm of leadership to build trust, growth, and resilient team. It's written by author Hussein Yatnati, and this is actually the second book which I have read by the same author. So before even beginning this book, I knew that I'm going to find immense knowledge and information through this book, and I was very sure that I'm going to like it. So I actually took my sweet time to finish reading this book. I was very slowly progressing through this book because I was so immersed in the lessons, I was so immersed in the ideas and the theories that this book talks about. So this book is about leadership, like I told you, and about how a manager should be. But important thing to note here is that, like I said, this book feels very real, very honest. So it's written in a conversational style. It's written in the format where three people are talking: Parth, Surbi, and Keshav. And Keshav is someone who has been like the manager in the past of Parth and Surbi, and Parth and Surbi are the ones who are about to begin their journey of being a manager. So they are very confused and they have a lot of doubts on how to become like the best manager and how they can be effective in their leadership and the qualities that they must possess. So this is how the conversation rolls, and as they're taking guidance from Keshav, who was their manager in the past, we readers also navigate through a lot of challenges that a leader might face and experience. So, most of us, that includes me as well, I used to think earlier that high pay is something that motivates individuals to work better in the workplace. And while it is true that it does motivate individuals to work much better, but this is not the only factor that motivates the employees in your workplace. There are a lot of things that motivate and drive people towards changing, towards performing better and giving their best at the workplace. There are also so many factors that demotivate the employees, that pull them away from the work. Like I've also said earlier, that I found this book to be very mentally stimulating. By this, what I mean is that while I was reading this book, I found a lot of ideas, a lot of different perspectives were kind of, brewing inside my head. I personally feel that this book is not just limited for managers or someone who has to lead a team, but this book can be read by anyone who has to work around people or among people. I think this book will teach you some basic skills which I think a lot of people are lacking in today's time, and I could also relate to it. And now that I'm working, I know how important it is to not only maintain our physical health but also our mental health while we are working somewhere. We must have a working space, working environment such that the people working there feel safe, they feel comfortable. They should not experience a lot of stress because of the workplace, because of the toxicity that may creep in, because of a few people who try to spoil the environment. And this book also talks about such people who are just simply existing there to maybe ruin the workplace, or just want to give some extra stress to the workers working under them. Because not only it is the pay that makes the employees stay in the workplace, but also depends on how they are feeling while working there. It's very important, and this is something that I could instantly connect with, I could relate with it. So that is why I'm saying that anyone who is working somewhere or around people, and if you have to interact with people a lot, then I think this book will come handy. It will gently guide you towards becoming a better individual even if you do not work, I think this book will definitely help you. But if you have to work somewhere, then I think it will teach you some basic, very minimum skills that if you implement it within yourself, you will just feel better from inside. You will feel that you are growing, you are progressing as a person as well. And while we are interacting with another individual, just know that they also have emotions just like we do. So I think it is very important to first of all understand how people's psychology works, what they feel, what they think while they are working under you. Maybe a safe and a healthy work culture means you trust your people, you give them a chance, you do not doubt their potential, you don't constantly pull them down. These are only the few things, a few highlights from this book. But this book, when you will read, you will feel like, because this book is backed by research, and this is how his books are. They are very informational, they are very much backed by research and the theories that the author uses in his work. He also tells us about that, and I also give a few extra points if the book has the mention of the theories and what the experiments were. So this is something that I personally enjoy reading in books, which is very easy, very simple to understand. Even if there are complex things that are being discussed in this book, I think the author has still toned it down and written in a way that makes it very easy and simple for you to understand. The only condition being that you pay attention to whatever you are reading. So the language, like I said, it's very smooth, very engaging. And if you are someone who is interested in reading a book about leadership, about being a manager, or simply if you want to read a book about understanding human behavior even more better while they are in the workplace, then I think you will definitely like reading this book. This will teach you a lot of basic skills, like I'm telling you, but I feel that a lot of us are actually lacking those skills. That's why we need books like this that feel mentally stimulating, that are very thought provoking, and it definitely changes your perspective. It gives you some insights, and it's up to us to make changes. It's up to us to actually implement the theory into practical. That's up to us. But books like this definitely become a very gentle guide to help us from going from point A to point B. With this, I would like to say that I highly recommend this book, and if you have read this book, do share your thoughts in the comments with me, or if you would like to discuss the book with me, just feel free to DM me. I highly recommend it. Go and get this book for yourself, and I'll see you in the upcoming videos. Until next time, take care, keep reading.